Hey guys, YodaCode43 here. I've got another car review for you today. And today I'm going to be covering this 2020 Buick Encore GX. First thing I want to cover is where it fits in the segment and a couple of its competitors. Then we'll dig into the details. This is what would be, well, I guess it's a subcompact SUV or crossover. Slotting in Buick's lineup just above the regular Buick Encore, which is still on sale since 2013, but this is brand new for this year. And then slotting in just under the Buick Envision, which is outgoing this year and will be replaced very shortly. Competitors and chassis mates. Well, the chassis mate would be the Chevrolet Trailblazer, which is brand new for this year, which is in the same boat as this, where it slots in just above the Chevy Trax. The styling's really clean, nice rounded shape. All the headlights, all of the front end lights integrate really nicely into the bumper and the grille, and honestly, the lines of the car are really clean. It kind of has a car look to it, but of course it's given the off-road appearance by the or off-road pretensions appearance with the black cladding around the wheel wells and at the bottom of the bumpers and the doors and whatnot. Honestly, competition I can think of at the moment would be like the Ford EcoSport, but really that's a bit smaller than this, if I'm honest. It's too small to be compared to an Escape, maybe compared to a Nissan Kicks or a Rogue Sport. Yeah, I'd say those are probably closest to it in size. Now I've given you the basic walk around, let's go cover the interior. This is the key for the Encore GX. This Essence trim has remote start, has a power lift gate, and then your standard lock and unlock buttons and your panic alarm button. Nothing special on the back side of the key. Should have a form of keyless entry. You push the button on the outside of the door. I like to cover the sounds of doors in my videos. Typical GM sound of modern day. The door itself is pretty simple, self-explanatory. This Essence trim also has memory seating options. I'm guessing this button is actually for ease of exit, so I'm thinking the seat probably backs away in order to make it easier to get out. And then this button down here is to, or this knob rather, is to adjust the height at which you want the tailgate to open. Quick visual around the interior. Standard analog gauges on all models of this, but this one has a nice center screen between the gauges, which I'll show off in a minute. Has an excellent infotainment system. GM's infotainment that was released in 2018, 2019 is absolutely fantastic. Leather bucket seats in the front. Leather bench in the rear. Split folding 60/40. Cup holder armrest. Nice simple squeeze. Down you go. They'll go all the way down. Not quite a flat loading floor. There's a step here, but not a big deal. Just a simple push-in gas door. There's an electronic button to release. Rear view camera right here as well. This one has a nice little squeal to it. pretty fair amount of space for being a subcompact. Our Cherokee that I reviewed just yesterday has a little bit more space, but it's a compact size. I also noticed this looks like it has a multi-level loading floor. Under here you just have your spare and your tools and some extra storage space. Nothing special to be noted there. LED license plate lights up here. Button for the tailgate. This has reverse park sensors along here. Encore GX all-wheel drive. So all-wheel drives have a 9-speed automatic, whereas front-wheel drives use GM's new CVT automatic transmission. I haven't yet tested a car with that new CVT. I'll have to soon. As I understand, it's fully incandescent lighting on the back. Yes, this is 2020, but just standard turn signal bulbs, brake lights, tail lights. Simple as that. But it's a nice shape. Reverse lights down below, down here. Don't know what side the exhaust is on. Looks like it is on the right side. Giant muffler back here. Exhaust tip exit on the right. No fake exhaust tips to be had. I've seen this on a couple of GM cars recently. They have this little tab. I'm guessing it's an aerodynamic improvement, but it's also probably to help keep mud and dirt from slinging up on the paint. I like this nice chrome trimming in the door handles. Also, it looks like you can use the keyless entry access from any door. Privacy glass in the back. Mirror cameras used for 360 view for parking. Pretty surprising thing to see on a vehicle of this size, this segment. This car has HID headlights. Not sure if there's an LED option. I don't believe there is, since this is the high trim. But it has LED daytime running lights up here. This hockey stick shape. Fog lights in the bumper down below. Front parking sensors as well. You're not likely to run into anything with this car. Show under the hood. Having had no practice, here it is. Got it. Turbo! This is actually, I believe, the 1.3 liter 3-cylinder turbo engine from GM. It's 155 horsepower, I believe. I believe it from the quick drive I had on the way over here. It's peppy for its size, but it's not exactly fast. We'll get video of that in a little bit. Like I said, 9-speed automatic transmission for the all-wheel drive. Nothing else really of note. Everything's really easily serviceable. Lots of stuff is exposed. The window sticker is not in this car, but I'm pretty sure a fully loaded one similar to this runs about $31,000. Point of view of getting in. So I'm 5'10", but I have long legs and a short torso. I actually didn't move this seat at all from when I got in the car. The guy who got in here before me is 6'1", so I guess that goes to show I have legs similar in length to his. And he's a bigger guy like I am, and he had no issue fitting in here, and neither do I. I mean, technically, my leg will rest against the center console. I don't know if it rests against the door. No, not even close. Tons of space over here. Nice intro screens when you close the door, here and here. Let's get this party started. Foot on the brake. Car is running. Nice high definition center screen. Gotta turn that music off. Various information available on the screen. I typically like to keep this kind of stuff up, showing instant mile per gallon and range to empty. This is an all-wheel drive model, so you have a couple of buttons down here. So you have your auto stop start. You can choose to put it in all-wheel drive mode. You can force it, I should say. lane keep assist, traction control, parking sensors, front and rear. I'm guessing that's the PowerPoint. Multimedia interface for USB, SD card, auxiliary. A nice automatic climate control, but with hard buttons and knobs. Big fan of that. GM's awesome infotainment. The navigation screen is really clear. Just wanted to show a couple of screens quick. You can also control the climate control from up here. Like I meant, this has heated seats too. Glove box is pretty sizable. Feels kind of cheap. The dash is rubberized up top, but looks like a leather stitching. Hard plastic through here, but it's a nice appearance. Another rubberized section here, but again, a nice appearance. Good contrast with the tan and the black throughout. Bluetooth microphones in the front. Your home link for garage door opening. OnStar, obviously. Visors, nice and large. Depending on, oh, okay, so the lights fade in, which is a nice little touch. Sliding visors, always like to see those. Oh yeah, and I think this is only on the top level trims, but this is my favorite feature from GM right now. So just a standard mirror, or you flip it for your, well, when there's high beams, and you have a full high definition camera, which is mounted at the top of the rear window. And I can make out drivers' faces from it. It's hilarious. It's got a perfect amount of zoom on it. You can really see well. There's no adjusting it, no BS. It's great. I drive with it on all the time. Electric parking brake, automatic shifter, plus minus for picking gears if you so chose. That's really all there is to cover. This also has automatic emergency braking, heated steering wheel, various voice controls and gauge controls and whatnot, and yeah. Lighting controls are down here. Gauge dimmer on the left, lights on in the middle, fog lights on the right. I think this has a knee airbag, that's why it says airbag down here by the hood release. All right, well now we're gonna do a little bit of driving. So to be honest, when driving, the center screen is kind of a bit caught off guard by the sun, makes it kind of hard to see, but the gauges themselves are easy to read. Nice, decently large print, though the fuel gauge is just dots. So is the coolant temp gauge over here. Off we go. Oh, and there's a heads-up display, which is pretty great. So I'm about 30% in the throttle right now. Fourth gear. We'll zoom in on the heads-up display there. This little plastic plate pops up when you turn on the car. It's a cool little feature. Makes you feel like you're in a fighter jet. Horn. Oh, quite loud. Comes through the car quite loudly. I'm surprised. Coming up to a little roundabout here. Go to the other side of that and give a little hit of the throttle. Come to a stop quick. Foot down. I think 0 to 60 somewhere in the 10-second range, but don't quote me on that. I'll have to look it up. It's not fast, but it's peppy enough to deal with modern traffic. The driving position's really nice for being a car-like crossover. I'm up nice and high. I'm a big fan. The fit and finish is really nice in here. General Motors has really upped their game in the last couple of years. Nice large windshield for the small size. We're going to pull a U-turn right here. Check out the maneuverability real quick. Oh, just kidding, there's a car here. We'll go down here just a hair. Demonstration of the camera. Oh, there's a front camera also that I did not know before. Got a quick glimpse of it there when I put it back in drive, and I was surprised by that. Must be nice for parking. So to be honest, the engine noise is actually a bit more than I would have expected, but you're pretty close to it. I imagine the sound deadening in this, I guess technically lower level, but higher level than a Chevy car is pretty minimalistic, but the road noise is very acceptable. Granted, I'm only doing 50 miles an hour here. I'm not complaining. For a small car, it rides really nice, but it also has a sporty feel to the handling. See if I can hold a hair of speed around the roundabout up here. Nothing dangerous, of course. Keeping well within the laws. That lane keep assist fighting me from time to time. Nice hot rod. Not really any body roll to speak of, not very much. Alright, so we're going to be cruising here at 45 for a second. We'll bring it up a bit faster. So here's the kick down. Some delay, but not a big deal. Wind noise gets a bit more noticeable at 70, but again, not unacceptable whatsoever. The car is not fighting you for grabbing anything in the road. Like I say, there's the lane keep assist that kicks in once in a while, but no complaints whatsoever. I'm not used to driving a car that has it, but it's nice to know that we've come to this point in technology. Yeah, I really like the design in here. The center vents are really large. The exterior vents have this cool design to them. I have it on full auto right now, 68 degrees, and I mean, it's 62 degrees outside, but it's putting out nice cool air. And this car hasn't actually demonstrated GM's stop-start yet, but I've experienced it in a couple of vehicles, and honestly, I think it's better functioning than the one in our Jeep, which works pretty well, but I think the one in GM works a bit better. Getting pretty bright. Move that. That sun will do you. The steering wheel's pretty small, but it's a small car, so that's okay. Yeah, I mean, I have ample room in here. I think I have more room in here than I do in our Jeep Cherokee, which is saying something. Like I say, that's a half a class up in size. That definition on that is amazing. It really is. Windshield's pretty dirty in this car. It's worth hitting the washers. One big wiper, one small wiper. Oh, that's much better. Why didn't I do that sooner? This car needed a bath, and the salesman told me that ahead of time that it did. Probably shows up on the video too, but that's okay. Yeah, like I say, I can about make out that driver's face back there behind me. Pretty crazy. The takeoff is nice and smooth. Typical GM of today. Their electronic throttle kind of lazes in. And as you saw when I put my foot down before, there's no sport mode in this car. There's a low, which I just don't think uses as many gears. maybe makes the throttle response pick up a little bit, but not really that I've noticed. I can change the info in the heads-up display. Nice. Anyway, I think that'll about cover this review. Kind of a quick one. I expect more of my ones in the future to be like this. Hope I ran this one a little bit better than the Jeep one. I think I covered more of the features. Although I know I didn't mention fuel economy. Pretty sure these have a combined rating right around 30 with this 3-cylinder turbo. Yeah. I like it. I'd consider driving one of these every day. That's saying something. I'm not a crossover guy whatsoever. I mean, I drive a 28-year-old Taurus SHO with a 5-speed every day, and I mean that's a fun car. But it goes to say something that there are modern crossovers that I would actually consider driving because they still feel like cars. It's just in the vast sea of SUVs and whatnot, you just kind of blend in. It's hard to stand out in vehicles nowadays without spending exorbitant amounts of money. To be honest, though, the car is not afraid to get into it. If you ask it to off idle, it will pick up pretty good. Getting use out of that sliding visor now. So, final thoughts. The Encore GX, like I say, is new for this year. This top-level trim is actually really well equipped. The price is a bit expensive for a subcompact at $31,000, plus or minus a little bit. But I really like the styling. I really like the ride and handling. I like the sound of the engine. It sounds like a little V6, even though it's just a 3-cylinder in there. It's got a little pep, but I could definitely appreciate a little bit more. But it's a small vehicle. It's meant to get great fuel economy, and I'm sure it does. Leaves you a little space in the back seat for hauling around some stuff, but tons of room in the back seat for having a child seat, which I can appreciate. I have an 11-month-old at home that still rides in a rear-facing child seat. Other than that, I mean, not a whole lot else to say. Hope you guys are starting to enjoy my videos a bit more. Hoping that I'm delivering a little bit better each time. Picking up new techniques and trying to make myself a nice checklist of things to cover each time I cover a new vehicle. Let me know other vehicles you want to see in the comments, whether it's old cars or new cars or your car, especially if you live local to me. I live in the central Michigan area, central eastern Michigan area. I'd be willing to check out any of your cars anytime. Like, comment, and subscribe, and see you guys next time.